Oh my God, you guys, our Uber is here.
Hello, hello.
Hi. Hi. How are you two?
Seatbelts on, let's go. Where y'all going with this?
I want to know if you could ride with any musical hero, who would you want to ride in an Uber with?
Oh, that's a toughie.
Yeah, who would you ride in the car with, Zena?
I would actually have to say you guys, but we would have to have like a major party bus Uber. You know, like you control your femininity, you put it out there in their face. You know, you're setting the bar instead of having that glass ceiling. All you guys are so inspirational, you know, in your own right, in your own story, in your own lives. And so I would like to pick your brains one by one for a very long time.
Sierra.
Yes.
You've achieved a lot of incredible things in your career. And how do you see the opportunities that you've embraced and the success you've had to be important and inspiring to younger generations of writers and producers and artists?
When I put out my first record, say my first song, Goodies, and then
I'm like, literally,
all my songs, literally every song back to back, #1, top 2, top 10, top 5. And then I had a moment where maybe my record didn't perform the same way I was used to performing. At some point in time, you actually face reality. But in those moments when I faced adversity, I kind of felt like I was able to grow from those experiences. I was able to get wisdom. You know, I've been very fortunate enough to be surrounded by really strong women. And, you know, because of that support and me simply believing and standing by what I believe in, and knowing, again, can't nobody close the door that is open for me.
I would have never thought in a million years that I would have met you guys. Like me driving this Uber, instead of making a right turn, you make a left turn and you end up running into somebody and changing their lives just by basic
that metaphor is so on point right now.
Yeah. And like, I think the situations that women have to deal with in the industry itself, you know, such a male-dominated industry, to say how many women are amazing at what they do, it's still not reflecting on the percentage that's getting the recognition, you know.
But it's changing.
Yeah, it's changing.
It is changing.
It's changing.
I had a conversation around the time that I was writing Fall in Line with a producer friend of mine, because there were no female producers five years ago. And now fast forward 5 years, and we're sitting in a car with Alex Hope, who thought the same thing, like, where's everybody like me?
For me, it's like a lot of it is exposure, because when I was a young girl kind of getting into production, like, you never see pictures of women at the mixing desk. In movies or music videos, it's always like male engineers and male, so you just grow up assuming that that's
Thinking
like
that's
not,
what it is,
you're like, oh, well, that's not where a girl can be.
But the person behind the scenes could be a female.
And just seeing, you know, women doing things, collaborating, like, what was it like for you two, you know, Taylor and Arja, like when y'all did y'all collaboration? You know, how did that run?
The first time Taylor and I wrote together, Taylor, you were 16 or 17?
Like 17 years old.
16 or 17. I was so struck with how mature and smart and quick-witted and chill. Like, I used to do this impression of Taylor that was like, yo man, it's me, Taylor.
People always like, you know,
it would get, because it's like infectious. Taylor's infectious, man. Her love is infectious.
Let me tell you something about my love for Audra Mae. When I first met her, because it was the first time when I was able to write with other songwriters outside of my bedroom. And I was like able to learn from all these other women, and you were one of the very first sessions that I had ever gone into. And you allowed me to like get on the piano and do my thing, and then you steered it and made it even better. And I like working with people like that, even going into your artistry. So when I would hear your songs like on commercials and all these other stuff, I would be like, I got to work with her. This is cool.
Like, I'm hearing what both of y'all said, you know, it's like, I had a kid at the peak of my career, you know, and we all have these timelines of our lives that we don't realize, you know, you meet people for a reason. I'm so happy you guys were in my Uber.
Trust your timing. Trust your timing.
I had my son, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna stop doing music. I'm 6 months, I'm getting big, I'm gonna stop. And
You
then
thought you were gonna stop?
yes.
Did it break your heart?
Oh, it was crazy. I used to have other
God.
artists to come and sing with my band because we had a contract with a particular venue. And I used to be at the house, I'll go use the bathroom because something about, you know, pregnant women in your bladder, it just doesn't work. So I go to, I go to use the bathroom and I'm like, well, let me just go past by the club and see. And then before you know it, I'm getting out the car, and before you know it, I'm sitting in the audience and I'm like, oh, Zena's in the audience. And then before you know it, I'm back on stage. And each week, this is my last show. This is my last show. Okay, this one is my last show. I have a question for you. So you, like, your career kind of blew up really early in age, you know?
Yeah.
Like, for the younger generation that's coming up, it's like, what advice do you have them, you know, as far as like pursuing what they love?
I always say this, like, I'm a little girl from Texas, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm an African-American girl from Texas, and my parents aren't in the business. I didn't have somebody holding my hand. If I was to say, okay, by the time I'm like 15 and all this stuff, I'll have my first Grammy nomination, I'd star in movies, and people would have said I was crazy, and it might have detoured me. It might have made me think, well, maybe I can't. This is like the third time I'm restarting my career over. Every single time, it went from acting, and then it's like, okay, let's prove yourself again as a songwriter, and then okay, let's prove yourself again as a, because they don't care what nobody in music world care what I did before
that. You do
that.
not have to choose either.
Yeah, I
This
was like,
thing
you know,
of
I'm
like,
gonna do
well,
my
you
thing.
have to choose. Are you a producer or a songwriter?
Yeah,
Are
do
you
it
an
all.
actor or a singer?
You can do it all.
That is so not a real thing. But I want to know about you guys too. Like, Alex, what do you think is the biggest obstacle you've had to overcome?
I think self-doubt is definitely a big obstacle. That feeling as if, I needed to prove myself, I needed to make it make it known that I belong here, or that I, should be in this room.
My brain is turning.
What about you, Taylor?
What about you, Taylor?
I think that probably my biggest obstacle was definitely, like, I had managed myself for the past, like, all of my career. And it was hard because I was a kid. Then people would look at me like, okay, this child, but you need somebody else to be telling you what to do, though. And then also the other thing was, because I am very, like, the way that I dress, people thought I was gonna come in and just write a hip-hop song every time. They're like, you're gonna write us a little hippie hopper. And I'm like,
What is that?
Exactly. So it was like breaking out of those boxes of people trying to place me in a genre as well. Like, before it was hard because they just wanted to place you in whatever box, they first thought from the moment that you walked into the room.
I think one of the biggest obstacles is the feeling at times of being at the mercy of someone else making decisions for you. I've definitely had moments like that, and I think that's what's really cool about this time is it is a moment of taking control, and that's the place that I'm in. I know I can talk about it all the time when I say leveling up, but just understanding that I can be my own boss. I can take control. It's inspiring, right?
It's a lot to keep up with, and so much fun, because also now we have a lot of young women that sees women like Alex, women like you, women like me and Audrey and Zena, and say, it's possible.
It is possible.
Wow, it's possible, because I open my Instagram and my Twitter every day and I see these women doing the exact thing that I want to do.
Yeah.
20, 40 years ago, you might have had to look under some rocks, you might have had to look around, but now,
this new era of us as women coming together is so exciting.